and welcome to season 2 of Just Trying Dad. I am so happy to be back. Just the road to get here, and the first episode of the second season has been a long one, and I wanted to come on here and give you I know I like to say set the table, so essentially that's what this is, setting the table for what you can come to expect for season 2. Before that, a ton of life updates. Started out ending season 1 and thinking, you know what, I'm just going to take a break, 1 or 2 weeks, and come back and just keep going and keep producing episodes that really speak to the audience, speak to me, and things I wish I'd known. But sometimes life kind of throws you curveballs, and I really felt like I was stuck in 2021 for a very long time. Kind of came off New Year's, battling illness, and then came out of that and just thought they turned the corner and just ready to start producing episodes, and then dealt with 2 bouts of COVID, and that was kind of a challenge. You go 2020 not catching the virus, or 2021 not catching the virus, and then kids are back in school and you're trying to give them some semblance of normalcy, and then there's an outbreak in the public school system, and you get it. And one of the things that you really don't always explore is that anger you feel sometimes. We knew, or we had a sense that the kids had some exposure, and we thought that maybe that would be something where, yes, they'll stay home, but they probably didn't have that much. It's just an abundance of caution. But this time it went through the house, and you really, something that's rarely discussed is you can't quarantine from your kids. Yes, you having the virus, you can quarantine from your kids and painfully stay away, but when they have some kind of illness or sickness, COVID for instance, you have to be there, and you can't quite keep things separate. It's not easy to do. It's possible, but it's not always easy to do. So how are you going to tell a 4-year-old, and how are you going to tell a 6-year-old that no, you can't lay down with me because we're scared of the virus and things like that? But we just had to kind of just take it on the chin and move forward. So glad to say that we're all doing better, feeling better, and kind of moving through this thing one day at a time. But it was very interesting, and there is that kind of anger you do feel, towards the school system, towards the kids to some extent, and then towards yourself for not having a time machine and not knowing that you should have timed the outbreak perfectly and pulled them out of school. All irrational, all not based in logic, but those are the things you go through and you feel. I think one of the things that is also interesting from this whole experience is that life does come at you fast, and so you have to tend to adapt, and somewhere in between all that and the best laid plans to have season 2 go out and be somewhat of a regular cadence. We had a death in the family and had to make emergency trips out to Nigeria, so that was a whole another set of interactions and complications and things that you had to kind of figure out. Passports, visas, visa on arrival, all those fun things. And I don't know how familiar you are with Nigeria, but Nigeria is not a vacation for anybody. It is work, and so it's getting the kids into the mindset of making sure they know what they can eat, having as much as they need, gearing up for doing the driving. I grew up in Nigeria, so for me it's like, whenever I go down there, I learned to drive stick shift down there, so I always try to do all the driving and try to be their go-to person to protect them, and to kind of use my local knowledge for whatever that's worth to get around. So it was smooth. It was interesting. I'm an island kid. Spent a lot of time on the island, and having to drive to the mainland was interesting. It was doable, but they do make their own lanes out there. It's like traffic lights, bus lanes, all those fun things that keep things in order don't really hold water. And that, to be honest, that doesn't hold water on the island too, but it is especially pronounced on the mainland. But yeah, it was a good time. It was as good a time as it could be whilst you're down there for family obligations. But the kids got to plug into their local time zone, and the time zone of their ancestors, and it really did do something for them. It's like you could see my son Paxton really come alive and just enjoy the experience and just really have fun with the culture and the food and things like that. And my daughter, it's the second time around for her, but she really doesn't like bugs. She really doesn't like mosquitoes, and the one thing we didn't pack was bug spray. And so it became a running theme where it's like it's hot and the bugs are after my food. And so, but I was really surprised as to how open they were and willing they were to try fast food from everywhere. They loved the grilled chicken. They loved the chicken spicing and the food in general. They loved Burger King. They're usually McDonald's kids, so it's like hard to try to make them try anything else, even though they're falling off of McDonald's. But they ate Burger King's nuggets, so that was kind of nice and good to see. And what else is significant? I think just them being able to kind of ask a lot of questions. Key question they asked was, why is Lagos so dusty? And it's a question. I didn't have an answer, and hopefully it was something that nobody got embarrassed about the question. But it is something to think about. It's a whole lot of dust, a whole lot of sand, a whole lot of things everywhere. The minute you step out, you need another bath. So that was good. Another key thing that happened was I got to celebrate my birthday for the first time in 17 years in Nigeria. So it's different. Having a Lagos birthday or a Nigerian birthday is very different. It feels different. You get, the cake sizes and portions are wedding cakes portions. I don't eat cake much, but I appreciated the sentiment and everything that went on, and got to see friends from high school, from college, from the few months I spent in Nigeria after finishing up college. So it was really nice to kind of reconnect and really kind of get to see what everybody's doing, catch up and see people in the next phases of their lives. So all in all, happy trip. But yeah, no, I think it's the same as everybody. It's like once you get there, the Lagos airport and travel experience, especially with kids, will humble you. Like there's no freshness to be had there. You just kind of go in there and know you're about to do the work, get through it, and move on. So yeah, that was kind of cool to do and to see and to be able to take part in and expose the kids to. You always kind of think about it. Are they ready for a funeral? Are they ready to see a loved one who either they knew or have heard about or have interacted with and see them lifeless? So that's kind of interesting. But they didn't. I mean, for them it was just more getting to see great grandma and being able to kind of sit down and just understand what that means and really just kind of meet family and see people all over the place. So it was really, really nice. I'm happy we got to go. And not just the parents or just one of us or two of us. It was great that all of us were able to go and just kind of experience and take in Lagos. And hopefully next time we go again, and it's on better terms. But it was a really, really nice trip. So that's it with the life update piece. I really just came on here for season 2 and just to kind of, like I said, set the table and give you a general idea of what to expect. I really enjoyed doing season 1, and that format is probably a really good format to have, either guest or either co-host and things like that, and having that free open conversation. But I think for my own growth, I want to challenge myself to do more solo episodes. So I'm going to try a solo season. So this is it, like, talking through the topics, going through them one by one, a bit having a conversation with myself, but hopefully you guys are holding me down out there and you can relate to what I'm saying. And so that's what season 2 is going to be more like. It's going to be solo, just me, monologue-ish, but at least giving you a sense of the material and what we have to cover. So a few things you can expect to come out of season 2 is, again, you have this general introduction, update of the season. So thank you for tuning in and listening. I have, in the last couple of years, been really big into mindfulness, meditation, yoga, and just things to just kind of help me stay present and help me manage my anxiety. And so there's going to be a benefit of mindfulness episode. There is I'm a new convert to therapy, and I don't know why I haven't done it. I hadn't done it before, and it is, for me, something that has helped because pick a topic, any topic, it is just being able to talk things out, understand how your way has worked or not worked for you in the past, and and get the tools to be able to either fix the situation, react better, and or respond better to situations versus just doing it the way that you tried and tested up in your mind alone, versus ways that have things you can try alternatively that can work. So there's going to be a therapy session, deep dive into specific things that I've done within therapy, and specific exercises and just ways that it has helped for me. And it's always a good. It's expensive, but it's always a good thing to try. And if you need to rage quit it, you rage quit it for the expense or for whatever reason you want. But I think it's worth the trial, especially if you connect with your therapist, or if you have the right therapist. I think it's something that really helps. One thing I always like to do, and I've wanted to do this, and I probably will do this again with a co-host or with a guest, and that is to talk about navigating different parenting styles. Because when you see we're different people, especially when you're a couple. You're different from your husband, you're different from your wife, you're different from your spouse, your partner, you're just different sometimes. And so I parent a lot with a Nigerian tilt. I've had to unlearn that, and shout out to therapy for helping me just kind of figure out exactly what I can drop and what's necessary and what's not necessary. But it is so cool to be able to figure out that balance and that way in which both of you are different, because at the end of the day, understanding difference helps you understand how you are better as a unit and who is better at or better equipped to do certain things. And so it just really helps to be able to navigate those parenting styles. Now, one of my favorite episodes will be Mindfulness episode. I know Mindfulness, it's not a word, it's a thing, but it's a concept that comes from mindfulness, and it's about being present in your run. It's a state of elevation, of being present in your run, where everything just flows, everything works, you push past the pain, and you are just firing on all cylinders. I'm a big runner. I love to run when my knees will let me. And I just experienced the mindfulness. I've been experiencing it probably since the first time I started running as a kid, but it's only now that there's a word to put to it, and it is allowed to be able to be lost in your run, especially being safe where you are, be on the treadmill, on the trail, or on the track, definitely not on the road. Just stay alert. But in general, it's just nice to be able to know that there's a thing, and there's a opportunity for you to experience personal growth, be present, be in the moment, as well as be healthy. So that's kind of cool. I love it. I'm here for it. One thing that's also really cool I thought to do would be maintaining and the struggles of maintaining grown-up relationships. I, for one, have this problem all the time. I've lots of friends, lots of acquaintances, lots of people I would love to catch up with, but there's just not enough time in the day either because, a lot of responsibilities and obligations and work and things like that, or because, we just, can't connect, or we can't find the time to sync up. So it is really cool, and it is really nice to be able to understand that and understand how we navigate and maintain those relationships that we think are important to our lives. And it is definitely an art, not a science. I've actually definitely messed around with different options and different ideas we'll do a deep dive of that in the episode, which is kind of like, it's almost like templatizing, just so that you take the brain or guesswork out of it. It's almost like calendaring, just so that and don't miss a check-in. All those type of things, being able to do them so that you can be intentional about your friendships, be intentional about who you talk to. And I'm pretty sure there's technology to help, and I'm pretty sure there's ways to develop those type of things and be able to kind of make it either easier and smoother, so you don't seem like you're not being thoughtful, you're not being approachable, you're not doing what you need to do. It's just time and taking the time to do what you need to do and maintain the relationships with who you need to maintain. So I am excited for this lineup. It is a 6 episode season if you count this intro, which I do count this intro. So I hope you get a chance to come back, subscribe, find us where podcasts can be found, and really just share insights. Join the community at JustTryingDad on Instagram. Feel free to reach out, give your feedback, show your support, and again, thank you for listening to Just Trying Dad. Thank you for listening to this episode of Just Trying Dad. Please be sure to spread the word, tell a friend, and you can find us wherever podcasts can be found, on Spotify or Google Podcasts, and keep having the conversations, and we'll see you soon.